Sean, I just had to sigh. Okay. There's just a lot. There's a lot going on this year. 2020, it's been a real challenge for both of us. It's fair to say some of us have endured psychological trauma since mid March. And the only thing we can really do to be our best selves and to get past this is use a little empathy. And our next guest is here to help us discover the empathy inside us.
Absolutely. Dr. Alana, she is a board certified psychiatrist and here to help us kind of make sense of what we've gone through this year. How are you, doctor? Great to have you.
Well, I am here. I'm upright, and that's the best I got for you today because it's been rocking and roll. My amygdala's been rocking and rolling over here too.
We're going to talk about amygdala and what that means in just a second. But let's talk about empathy. You know, a lot of people are feeling a lot of different things right now. And I think our society seems to be less and less empathetic as the years go on. What is empathy? Define it if you could.
Empathy is the ability to dig deep within yourself and understand the other person's perspective, not from your own space. So it's not just putting yourself in the other person's shoes, but it's putting yourself in the other person's experience, in their thoughts, in their mind, in their perspective, and being willing to put your own bubble to the side, your own bubble of perception or what you think is going on to the side for long enough to really understand where they're coming from.
Mhm.
Yeah, and sometimes, doctor, that's just a little bit easier said than done. So, it's a
Sure.
profound subject. Can we talk about psychological trauma? I know that I'm going to let you define it, but I know that for one thing, I've noticed since mid March, so many people are just on edge. They are that far from just kind of losing their temper. Are those things related?
Absolutely. So, coronavirus was definitely traumatic for all of us. And it's a great example of how much trauma is out there that we don't realize and haven't defined as traumatic. When people think trauma, they usually think something physically happening to your body. But the majority of trauma is psychological or invisible. No one actually is touching your body necessarily, but you're experiencing something so negatively that it's changing the way you think about yourself, the way you think about other people, and even the way that you may think about the world. And that's the definition of psychological trauma. Those events shape your brain and shape your body and the way that you think now, even though they happened in the past.
Yeah.
Mm.
We're all having a feeling right now. There's a thing called STSS, a societal traumatic stress syndrome. We all seem to be kind of like worldwide feeling this at the exact same time. Explain what this is and why it seems to like trigger so many painful emotions.
Sure. Because we're human and all human beings are designed the same way. I tell people we are all anatomically identical. The Human Genome Project in 2003 said that we have 99.9 the same DNA. And it also means we have the same build in our brain. And so our
Ah,
amygdalas are going off. That's the part of your brain that creates your emotions, and those emotions are based on not necessarily an shared reality, but on how your brain is interpreting what's going on around you and then transmitting those feelings in powerful, invisible surges and urges inside of your body. So your amygdala is what you're feeling, and that happens predictably when you experience traumatic things.
Is there such a thing as an
my goodness.
amygdalaectomy? Can we get that removed?
No, you
Yeah.
don't want an
All
amygdalaectomy.
right.
That would probably take out a few other things in the process.
Fair.
But what you can learn to do actually is to control your amygdala. So for one, if we were taught that we have one in elementary school, we'd all be better at controlling it. Because all of us are taught to think that other people create our emotions. He makes me angry, she makes me happy. That's not how it works. How you're interpreting that person is being transmitted in your body, and it's either going to create a negative red type of emotion or a green positive type of emotion.
Hmm.
And you actually do have control over what you think and how you think it, but you need to use your prefrontal cortex, this part of your brain. Tap
Yep.
it.
I have a
Yep.
lot of that,
Wake it
obviously.
up.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. This is the best part of our brain. This is the part that empathy comes from. To be able to think
Yes.
past that roar of amygdala, to go, this other person is struggling too. They're going through something. Maybe they're snapping because they're irritated. Maybe they're stressed out
Yes.
too. And how can I connect with them and be effective with my body, my words, the part that I have control over?
Dr. Alana, I hope
Doctor,
you're empathetic to us. We have run out of time.
thank you
However,
so
we're
much.
going to point
Sure.
people in the right direction to learn more about you. Dr. Alana, we've spoken with her for moments off camera as well. She's just an absolute delight. And if you find yourself needing to calm down and find your center, she's a great place to start. dralana.com, DRALAUNA.com. PR Media, a proud sponsor of The Morning Blend.